5 lights, and away we go. I think everybody got a decent start there.
That's an insane start from Koushik. Exactly what he would have wanted. Oh, Upbeat Ferraro, he just sneaked onto the inside and he has to P2.
Salvage some points all the way down.
Eccentric sending down the inside on Oxygen, and Oxygen is coming back alongside. Putting his wheels, and he's side by side going around the outside. And I think he's got the move done. Yes, he has got the move. Oh, still there side by side, but he's got the inside line.
Hello everyone and welcome back to COTA with our Tier 1 boys. Of course, as I said, we are in COTA for round 5 of the 10 season calendar we have in IRC. Today joining me, we have Electrip as our streamer and we have ABD as my co-commentator. How are you guys doing?
ABD.
Hello, Simply. Thanks for the warm welcome. I'm really good and looking forward to our today's race.
Yep, so without wasting any more time, let's quickly go on to the track map and the Hotlap video.
So, welcome to the beautiful track of the circuits of America with 2 DRS zones, and the most overtaking will be done in turn 1 and turn 2. So that's some place for the drivers to watch their back. Let's go for the hot lap.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board a lap here in Austin, Texas, in the Circuit of the Americas. Now, on board with the Alpine of Blizzard King, you want to be on the right-hand side for turn 1. Uphill braking, so you can brake later than you think. Use the black box on the right for reference. Take a late apex here, balance the car with the throttle on the exit. You can make sure you get a clean run onto this downhill section here. The turns 2, 3, 4, and 5, all very reminiscent of the Suzuka SS without the elevation change, of course. But you want to be balancing the car with the throttle, swinging from apex to apex, keeping the minimum speed high. For turns 6, 7, and 8, very technical, take a late apex here, get a slingshot exit into this downhill section, and make sure you keep it within the track limits. Very easy to go run wide there. For turn 11, to brake just at the 75-meter mark, take a late apex again, and make sure you get a good exit again as you head onto this very, very long back straight here. Watch out for the DRS board on the right-hand side to activate it and get those few extra Ks you will need for overtaking here. Now preparing for turn 12, avoiding the curb this year as the ground effect will kick in and well, you will bottom there. Make sure you get a good exit. Fifth technical, very less braking involved. If you're just rotating the car with the brakes and steering as well, and make sure the balance of the car is not disrupted too much here, as you will lose a lot of time. With the triple apex right hand corner, you want to be taking a tighter line here, minimizing the distance travel to the next corner. For this corner here, swing it in. Make sure you compromise on your exit to carry more minimum speed. Same for the last corner, if the line is very close, carry more speed than you think, and get a good, decent exit as well, though, for if you're on a race run. And yeah, that's a lap of Austin, Texas, and yeah.
Alright, that was a very, very good lap from our driver Lizard King, and by the looks of it, we have a wet session here. By the looks of it, it is Inter's conditions, and yeah, the last time and that is Alphabot who's already spun on his outlap, and could we get the track map and other stuff running, please, while we're at it. And yeah, the last time we had a wet qualifying, that was in Japan, and these drivers essentially struggled to put laps because of the challenging nature of Japan, and COTA is somewhere around the same amounts of challenge. I would say the tricky S's that are in the first sector, and then pretty much after the first sector sector 2 is essentially just a very long straight with a couple of corners, but sector 3 is where they're going to find it even more challenging. It is the trickiest part on this circuit. And perhaps do you think, ABD, that we could see some drivers making mistakes there on the long right-hander or the triple apex right-hander, as some call it as well?
Yes, definitely, because we have already seen two of the drivers in Tier 2 make that mistake, and here there is just a lot of pressure for each of the driver to compete with the most India's fastest drivers. So yeah, the pressure will be definitely there. It's just about who manages well under pressure.
Definitely, and while we were talking about that, just a slight deviation, some drivers have gone off the track, and
Looks like the session is moving from inters towards wet. Can we just pop up to see what the weather condition is like, and also if we can roll on to each of the driver, because we do not have the telemetry up. Looks like
yep.
that.
Definitely is not up.
Yeah, I am trying to fix that.
Alright, in the meanwhile, Ashray has set the fastest lap of the session so far. It has only been 2 minutes, and okay. We're on board with the Mercedes of not sure who that is actually. Can't tell because it is a generic helmet as well, the default one that the game gives you. But yeah, Helium
I'm sorry
has
guys,
set the
but this is the telemetry you guys are getting. I don't know why it's not working, but yeah.
Alright, no
that's-
problem. We will manage from whatever we have. Helium has set the fastest lap of this qualifying so far with the 45.039. Ashray, of course, is over 1.5 seconds behind him. RB Ferrolo is the second behind Ashray with the 47.159. And Eitzel has now set a very decent time, I would say, with the 46.698. And by the looks of it, these drivers are actually managing to set their laps. Of course, we saw couple of drivers making those mistakes earlier on when they were leaving the pits, but then again it was on their outlaps, so the tires would have probably been cold, and they just weren't prepared for these conditions. And there's yellow flags in sector 1 and 2, so there is someone that's going slow, and that's a Ferrari that is going to, I believe that is RB Ferrello, who's going slow through the S's.
He's just giving way.
The fastest lap time so far with a 44. I can't see that because the cloud covers too much, but yeah, somewhere around the 44s. It's still a very, very good banker lap from Logesh, and we can see on board with Streeter now. Yeah, 44.996 for Logesh, very close to Akash Onavne's time, who is in P2 provisionally with a 45.036. So yeah, I think the track is ramping up slightly. Alright, let's see. Streeter again, he is going through sector 3 right now, and apologies, we don't have the exact sector time is going on because of our telemetry not working. We apologize for that. So we can't see if the drivers are actually improving or not, because this game loves to bug itself out and show that it is giving purple sectors to basically everyone, even though they might not be going purple, as Moto sets the fastest lap with a 44.432. That is about 5/10 faster than Logesh. So, ABD, what are your thoughts? Who do you think will get pole here?
Yeah, that's a tough call. Actually, looks like the track is going to be wet in the ending stages of quali. I'm not sure, but that is one reason why all the drivers are on track probably right now. But I really hope that Helium will get the pole, and yeah, I think Moto will be within the top 3 for sure.
Right, interesting call. And we can see Streeter has now spun coming out of turn 1. Again, it is a very, very slow speed, tricky corner. The real SG has invalidated his lap. Black Sheep is very twitchy on the exit. They're starting his sector 3. Again, these corners, again, very, very challenging corners. And if you dip even a slight bit of your tire into the wet patch, you're going to lose a lot of traction on the tires. So it is crucial that they stay on track and stay especially on the dry line, especially going through this long right-hander that could cause you a lot of time. Although, by the looks of it, Black Sheep wasn't using his ERS, so I think he's backed out. Unless he's not. I can't tell. By the looks of it, he's still on a lap. Yep, he's going to finish this lap. He comes across the line now. Goes P8 with a 45.816. A very decent bank lap, I'd say. again, these drivers will have to pit again and go out. Let's say perhaps with lesser fuel with their final runs. I believe they have enough time for at least 3 to 4 more runs if they could time it absolutely perfectly. Although I doubt they would want to do 3 or 4 more runs. And also, we do not know the weather condition of the race, so it will be a surprise for us to see. Of course, the drivers know it already because they can see it in game. Akash Sonamne is going over 9/10 faster on his current time. That will be enough to get him past Moto, at least provisionally. So we'll have to see if he can keep the lap in. He's very, very low on the ERS though, so this I believe would be his second consecutive lap that he's set. And it has stopped raining. The track is getting drier. It could get completely dry towards the end. He's taken the penultimate corner perfectly. Going through into the final corner, absolutely nails that as well. Now he's coming across the line. Where will Akash end up? Goes faster to the 43.
Oh, that's a beautiful
Very
lap.
good lap from Akash Sonamne. Very good lap from him. And his Red Bull teammate Aradhya Gupta is down into P9 currently. He's on an outlap. He is going to warm his tires up, make sure his batteries are charged and go again, whereas Black Sheep is 2.5 tenths, essentially 3 tenths down on his current lap time that he has set provisionally. So I think he might be looking to box and then go again. Yep, he's going to box, and Helium beats that time with a 43.3. Track is really ramping up right now. ABD. So perhaps do you think we could see times even down into 41s, or perhaps we could see the track completely dry up in the dying stages of this qualifying?
Yeah, it looks like the rain has stopped now, but I really doubt if the drivers can come out on softs here though. Yeah, with just 6 minutes of time left. And as I got the info that the race is also going to be wet. So that's some information on the race weather.
And will be interesting to see as well the race, whereas now Moto has set a 42, I believe that is. A very quick lap from Moto. 42.753, very, very quick lap from Moto. Of course, the other drivers, there's still 6 minutes remaining in this qualifying, so they can definitely go back into the pits, get some fuel, change the tires and go again. Or, someone could perhaps try it out, if not on the inters, then perhaps on the softs. I mean, if it works out for them, it's going to be a very big margin they get pole by. If it does not work out for them, say the worst thing that could happen to them is perhaps spin. And I think it currently, by the look of the track conditions, is definitely not time for softs. We can still see a lot of water being sprayed around here. And we can see 8 cylinders on a lap. He's up by 4 tenths exactly on his first sector time. Believe this could be a very good lap time set by 8 cylinders, although he is on his second consecutive lap, so he's essentially run out of ERS a lot.
Yeah, the ERS is gone and he's on the straight.
Yep, so with this long straight, if you do not have the ERS at all, you essentially get swallowed up in the race. But the looks of it right now, I think he's taken it quite well. He's going to be crossing the second sector line now. He's up by a second on his second sector. He's doing quite well despite the ERS deficit that he has. Let's see. Let's hope that he does not screw up in the last sector. He's absolutely nailing these corners as well right now. The trickier part over here, though, is this long right hand. There's a Ferrari that spun. Let's hope it's not on the line. Doesn't look like it's on the line. But looks of it, yep, clear off the track. Although still yellow flags. Not sure who that is, but Itzel has nailed the penultimate corner. He just has to absolutely nail this last corner, and he could go much, much faster on his lap time. And he goes across the line, and he goes P3 with the 43.7. Very, very good lap from 8 cylinders, ABD.
Yeah, it really was, but looks like Moto has set the bar really high as of now. And it's going to be a good challenge for Helium to beat that.
Helium will... He is in the pits right now. Helium will have to essentially change his tires if he can again. If he has any fresh softs, apologies, inters left, and he will have to see that if he can improve on this time or not, because that is quite a big margin that he has to improve from. That is 3-6 tenths, I'd say, and I'd say that Moto's also going to go out on a lap, so he needs to improve by at least a second on his lap to perhaps challenge Moto properly in terms of the pole. Or Moto could also be pretty confident on his lap and he could just do a max lap and just not go out for another qualifying lap. We can see Lokesh has invalidated 2 laps in a row here, I believe it is, so it's not gone well for him. Aradhya Gupta has also invalidated his lap, although I think he will be starting on another lap. No, Aradhya Gupta has pitted, so not sure what's going on for him. Arun Ferrano is on the lap right now, going through the S's. And he's taking these S's quite well, quite cautious though, making sure he does not overdrive the car and spins. It's up by 7.5 tenths on his previous first sector time. Quite well over here, Avery.
Yes, but considering the fact that the race is also going to be wet, we are not sure whether it is inters or wets. So I think they're probably saving those inters for the race because they're definitely going to need 2 sets of inters at least.
They would need 2 sets of inters left at least, unless it could dry out towards the ending stages of the race. That could make things a lot more interesting, as we saw with the Tier 21 boys at Silverstone. That's a very interesting race to watch and commentate over. You're a driver in Tier 21. And Alpha Bot actually goes P3 because Black Sheep has beat him. 42.955. Alpha Bot actually set a very, very good lapping here with a 43.1. And we'll have to see if the other drivers could challenge them. Perhaps we remember Ashray actually sets a P4 time, so Alpine currently provisionally P3, P4. Ashray over over 2 tenths behind his team at Alphabot. Although I know that Ashray is much better in terms of race pace, so Alphabot is spun over here. And as I was saying, I know Ashray is much better in the race pace, so we'll have to see if he could challenge for the podium here today. That is, if the other drivers do not beat him, we still have the drivers, the likes of General Pepe, Akash Sonavne, who are very skilled. Aradhya Gupta as well. They could definitely beat Ashray's time. That is, if they can keep it. Although, by the looks of it, Akash is still in the pits. So I don't think he will have enough time to beat Ashray, or perhaps even try to beat Ashray or get anywhere close to the top. So that's qualifying over for Akash Sonavne. Aradhya Gupta is on an outlap, so let's see if we don't get this in next lap invalidation. Meanwhile, we're on board with no more pro player. He's up by 1.1 seconds on his previous lap, just through the first sector. Pretty put it on pole, ABD.
Looks like the track has dried up, and as far as I can see, it's not raining anymore. Can we just quickly check the tire if anyone has the guts to go for soft or something? I can see some small. Okay, I see 2 people with soft sets. Yeah. Let's see how it goes for them actually. There are few small water puddles, but it's just too hard to say. It's just the guts, yeah.
Yep, that could definitely be. Can we stick onto the tire data, please? The live tire data, please. Thank you. And Lokesh has actually set the fastest lap with the 41.6. Ashray has put it up into P2 with a 42.9. This is really ramping up. The track conditions are really getting better. Helium and Aradhya Gupta are on softs though. Can they beat their
Yeah, that might just work out well for them if they don't spin.
Up, no more pro player though. He has spun! Unfortunately, I was going to say he's going to come across the line very soon. By the looks of it, he won't be improving on his time. Unfortunate for him. Black Sheep is up by almost 9 tenths on his lap with softs. The track is completed at this point. Moto has set a 40.1 on those inters. Would Helium be able to get pole here today, Eddie?
Oh, Helium is gonna bring some upset to everyone there. That's some guts, and he's going to be rewarded for taking that challenge up, and he has managed it with the time as well.
Definitely, that is if he can keep his lap on the track, if he can keep his car on track, not even it, he's up by 1.6 seconds. He's improving by a lot. And not to forget Aradhya Gupta, all he has to do is finish a lap and he'll definitely be ahead of the Inters drivers. So he could be P2 here as well. That is if he cannot beat Helium. Aradhya Gupta is certainly on for pole as well over here. Meanwhile, Helium is coming into the penultimate corner. Absolutely bangs the line through there. Coming into the final corner. Kills that too, gets a very good exit onto the power, goes across the line of 40.060. So that actually is a very small delta
Very
of
small
difference.
difference.
Yeah, I expected a lot more, but here comes Aradhya Gupta. Can he beat Helium? By the looks of it, yes, he can!
He can actually.
Very, very good lap from Aradhya Gupta. Very good move from him on going on to the dry weather tires onto the softs. Very good move from Aradhya Gupta, and he is on board here today at COTA.
Really not sure where Helium went wrong. We'll have to go back and see that after the race. But that is a nearly 1.3 second difference between the two soft drivers, and that is a huge margin here.
Yeah, very, very good lap from Aradhya Gupta, certainly. We're just waiting for Streeter to be pulled back into the garage. That is qualifying over here. Done with our fastest boys in India, in IRC, Tier 1 boys. That was a very, very fun qualifying, especially when the track started to dry up. It really ramped up the conditions. The track got much, much drier. Moto did set a very good lap on those inters. If it was still wet, he would have definitely gotten pole. Although it did change to dry, so he unfortunately could not. P3 for him. He has a lot more race pace, of course. He'll be putting a very, very good challenge in the race. Although qualifying is now over here at COTA. Aradhya Gupta gets pole with the 38.7. Very, very good call from him to going on to the softs. Absolutely nailed his lap as well. Followed by Helium, who did the same, although I believe he made some mistakes somewhere in his lap. Hence why he was very, very close to Moto's time. Although Moto, the fastest inter boy that we have, P3, followed by Real SD, Logesh, Ashray with a very good qualifying himself, RB Ferralo, Black Sheep, Alphabot, 8sil, General Pepe, Akasanovne, no more pro player, Streeter, and Faizan. That is qualifying over here. Very, very good qualifying over here. What are your expectations for the race, ABD?
Yeah, the first thing is we have to check how the weather is, and by the looks of it, it's really going to be inters or wet for sure. I got to know that it is 82% chances of rain. So that's what we can expect. But if you consider the inters qualifying time, you can see a huge difference between the P3 and P4. That is what Moto has set the time. So that is between Moto and Real SD, and you can just see the difference between the two drivers. But again, in the last run, few of the drivers have not improved either by getting spun on the track or like exceeding the track limit. But we never know what the real difference is between the drivers, and the race will decide everything, I guess.
Definitely, that could be completely plausible what you said. And 82% rate, I would guess, would mean a full wet, at least start to this race. By the looks of it, it is full wet right now. It is raining quite heavily. The fans in the game are completely cheering on the drivers who are sitting on the grid. We're just waiting for the drivers to set up their cars, change anything if they have to, change their tires if they feel like doing a yarn opmare. Someone perhaps could go on to the inters and try something risky from there. I mean, it worked out for yarn opmare. Of course, these drivers would be also trying to give that a shot. And we'll have to see how the weather plays out towards the end. Towards the end of the race. But yeah, I think it is going to be very interesting. Of course, we do not have a formation lab because that is bugged out and Codemasters cannot fix anything. And by some intel that I'm getting in our chat, Faizan has an alleged wheel issue that has caused him to not set a proper lap time. So let's hope he can get that fixed and he can come back in the race. And we're still just waiting on our drivers to ready up. And we will have
From
to
our
see.
point of view, we can see in the Mercedes garage there are some Inter's tires lying around. But yeah, we are really not sure whether it's like as of now. It looks like the drivers will start on Inters, and it might just go on for wets later on.
That could be, or Faizan's channeling his inner Yarn Opmare and perhaps trying that risky strategy of starting on Inters, which I mean, it worked out very well for Opmare. So perhaps Faizan's listening to us right now and he's decided to do the same. The race is about to start very soon. 15 seconds left. We will have to see who comes out ahead in turn 1. Over here, just about 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we are on the grid right now. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Aradhya Gupta gets a very good start. Helium struggling on the start over there, and Alpha Tauri in the back. I believe that is General Pepe. He's gotten a very good start over here. Here comes Lokesh though around the outside. That's Real SV on the inside. There's a bit of contact over there. Moto gets sent off wide in turn 1. He's a bit squiggly on the exit of turn 1 right there. Lokesh is getting pushed back down. Black Sheep is up into P5 currently. The Real SD is up into P3 right now. There's some moves happening in the back. Ashray though has lost a lot of positions at the start. That is Faizan who's off the track currently. 8cell has dropped all the way down to last. 8cell has left the session now as well. That is a very good start from the Real SD. Made a very opportunistic move into turn 1 and it absolutely worked out for him. We can see in the back Alphabot and Ashray fighting. Alphabot is currently ahead of Ashray. Novo Pro player has also got a very good start. General Pepe had a very good initial launch as well. That's helped him up into P8. Akasuname and Streeter are fighting it out in the back as well. We're on Black Sheep looking down the inside of Moto. Does not send it. Although Moto has gone slightly deep into that corner, that's brought Black Sheep much closer to him. Although Moto gets a very good exit, so Black Sheep cannot make a move on him right there. And yeah, that was a very good, interesting first lap over there, AVD.
Yeah, it really was. Looks like a decent start for almost all of the top drivers, except for Moto, who has lost the position to Real SD by being pushed off wide of the track. And I'm not sure what happened with 8cell over there, but he seems to be back as he goes up by a position, taking Akash right now.
And Aradhya Gupta has already managed to pull away a lead of 1.1 seconds. He is absolutely flying currently. So is Helium though. He's pulled out a second on the Real SD. Moto's right behind on the Real SD though. He's trying to get back that P3 over there. So he can push ahead and get to Helium and Aradhya Gupta because he definitely has a lot of pace as we saw in the qualifying. Akash Sonal, by the looks of it, is also disconnected. 8cell's back in the race though, so he'll be looking to make moves up ahead. But Streeter, Faizan, Ashray and so on. Although Ashray has had a very bad start over here. Can we look at the position changes really quickly, please? We need the telemetry as well.
I doubt if the telemetry is working, but we can see a lot of drivers have gained 3 positions. That is, Black Sheep has gained 3 positions. General Pepe, No More Poppy has gained 4 positions already in 1 lap. Faizan was already up by 3 positions in 2 sectors of the race, and 8cell has lost 4 positions in the race area.
Lokesh has made a move on now. Black Sheep is trying to make a move around the outside of Lokesh. Lokesh blocks him off perfectly. Although Black Sheep is still right there, and currently Lokesh is ahead. Although he's left a lot of space on the inside, and Black Sheep goes past Lokesh. And I was just saying, here comes Lokesh.
Oh, Lokesh comes back.
It's a very opportunistic move.
He doesn't want to give away the position.
Going on here, also they will have to be careful because there is RB Solar right behind these guys. General Pepe is following quite close as well. They could absolutely hunt down at these guys. And I was saying, Electric, can we look at the in-game telemetry that shows the acceleration and the battery and stuff? Can we have it on telemetry? Thank you very much. Aradhya Gupta again, he's quite fast. The Real SD is going faster than him though. The Real SD has picked up some pace. The initial 3 laps of this race, he is slowly hunting down on Helium, and if he can clear off Helium, then he could certainly challenge for the win over here if the conditions stay the same. And we can see Lokesh again behind Black Sheep, and here's 8cell on the back of this big train that's right ahead of him because he has to clear off Streeter first. Cylinders has to win a lot of his ERS although over here, whereas in the wet generally he conserves a lot more, so I think he's trying to use it as much as
probably the AI who has used the ERS for him actually. Can we just switch on the tire data? I'm sure everyone should be on interest. Yeah, it looks like the rain is getting heavy as of now. Probably 3 more laps and then should be good for wets. Not sure just yet. We have to look out for the top runners when they pit. Oh, and Eitzel loses the traction over there and he has spun.
It's not going on like a very good race for Eitzel over here. No safety car that did not get damaged, thankfully. Still a long race left, so let's hope he does not mess up there. Although Ashray is going off slightly wide, he's lost his position to Faizan as well. Both the Alpine guys are struggling slightly currently, and we can see General Pepe. RB Ferraro goes off wide, although he comes back. The track was not wide enough for the both of them, and it was too wet. Is the line for General Pepe to consider a move over there. So General Pepe is going good as well currently. You can see, yeah, he's very close to RB Ferraro. Of course, if General Pepe definitely has a lot more pace than RB Ferraro currently, if he can clear off RB, then he can definitely catch up to Logesh. Logesh, if he catches up to Logesh, then he can catch up to Black Sheep because they're in very close vicinity themselves. By the looks of it, General Pepe is struggling very slightly over here in terms of traction. So we'll have to see how that turns out for him. Can he go on board street, although he seems to be very close to Ashray. As well as Akash Sonavne. Akash Sonavne is very close as well. Interesting. Akash Sonavne had a very bad qualifying and he's had a much worse initial couple of laps on the start. Can he go on board? Thank you. So do you think APD, Akash Sonavne, perhaps could recover himself over here in this race?
Well, actually he should because he had done a comparatively better qualification. But right now, as you can see, Helium is losing the time to Arathia. And just a lap back he was able to gain it. So it's like a lot of drivers are able to gain and then lose the same time in just a lap. A lot of uncertainty is going on and there's lack of consistency between almost every driver here, and that is why there are no position changes yet.
That could definitely lead, and we can see Streeter makes a slight mistake, goes fairly deep. We can see Akash Sonavne locks up behind him, and over here, Akash Sonavne is slightly struggling to get past Streeter over here. So perhaps maybe he has to keep himself focused over here and perhaps then try and make a move, perhaps into turn 1.
Yeah, if he's able to get a grip of the car first, and that will be important because he cannot afford to spin or lose any more time now. But he is doing well as of now. As you can see again, Helium is losing more time. He has lost 0.2 seconds of Arathia. Moto has been keeping up. Those 5 of them are really at each other, but it's just about a matter of makes a mistake and who loses the position.
Yep, definitely. They're still going at it. And little update on the top 3 drivers. SD has lost a bit of pace. Ravi has picked up the pace yet again. And he has gotten the fastest lap of the race yet again. Can we just look at the tire data, please? Like, live tire data. We can see nobody has made any pit stops. All of them are going as is. Not sure. And that is Moto who's sending it on Real SD. Pushes Real SD off slightly wide over here. Now they're going side by side into sector 3. They're still going side by side. Now Real SD pushes off Moto slightly over here. He pushes him off into the wet patches of the race. And he completely blocks off that apex. Very clean racing from both of them going on over here. And the Real SD is doing his absolute best to defend off from Moto. And Moto by the looks of it cannot get past him so far. The Real SD showing his absolute best defensive masterclass, and Moto gets slightly squabbly on the exit of the penultimate corner. Gets a good exit over here though, and Radhi Gupta of course still sets the fastest lap of the race yet again. Helium snatches that away then, and Helium is now going faster, so they're just fighting between who gets the fastest lap over here. What lap the other driver is faster, what lap Helium's faster. So we'll have to see how that turns out for them. General Pepe is looking down the inside of RB Ferraro. RB Ferraro goes a fairly wide, but blocks off General Pepe yet again. And by the looks of it, I think Motorboat has fallen back slightly. So perhaps do you think he had overcooked his tires because of that wobbly exit on the penultimate corner area?
Yeah, definitely. That fight has hurt both of them because they both have lost the time to Helium, and there's a comparatively bigger gap now that they have to cover up. And it looks like Moto was 0.1 second far, and now he's just back to 0.8. So he has, the way SD has defended and controlled, both of them have controlled their car. It was really good show of racing. And it also shows that the drivers are losing their patience now, even as you can see General Pepe tried to send it inside, but he just waited for it. Yeah.
Definitely, I mean, they have stuck behind the other drivers a fair while now actually, and it has been only 6 laps, but because it is wet it seems like forever because lap times are just so long. So it does feel like an eternity every lap, especially on this very long circuit, 5.5 kilometers long, with a lot of technical slow speed sections. So this feels like it's taken an absolute eternity to get through a lap. So the drivers are getting very, as you said, anxious and stressed out. They're still stuck behind the other drivers. They're getting quite frustrated now, and they're also starting to make some slight mistakes over here because of the same frustration. Because we can see some drivers are trying to defend off. They're having frustration of trying to defend off properly, but the attacking drivers have frustration of not being able to get past the defending driver. And we can see General Pepe is fairly low on his ERS. So do you think that ERS could come out as a big player over here in this race, ABD?
Yeah, it really does, because the regeneration in this game is just way too long, and that is why it is really impossible for drivers to go on for 2 consecutive hot lap in any of the tracks under dry tires. But yeah, as we saw today also, like even with Inters, they had their second consecutive tire with just like 5% of ERS left in the tank. So that shows the ERS is really important here. That is mainly in the long straight, that in the sector 2, that is probably where they can really gain time, and they should really start conserving it. And yeah, that's the important thing to conserve here.
That is, you're absolutely right, ABD, over here, and you have to conserve a lot of ERS because of that long back straight. You have to use up a lot of your ERS to make sure you are ahead, especially if the driver is in the slipstream. Esa has gotten a 3-second time penalty, and Ashray has made a mistake, so he's down into P15 currently. Also, there's a very good battle going on over here between Alpha Pot, General Pepe, as well as RB Ferraro. And RB Ferraro, of course, defending off from General Pepe and Alpha Pot. He's doing his level best, and that's Alpha Pot who's now spun. Still on the track though, and luckily for him, the track has a lot of wet patches around on it, and the rain has gotten slightly lighter. So yeah, Alpha Pot does have enough time, over 20 laps left actually, to pull down his tires and go again. It's not gone a very good weekend for Alpha, has it?
Yeah, it really has not. They can definitely improve even now. Like I said, it's about keeping patience and about the driver who is able to deal with the pressure that is being built by the driver just behind them. And we can see that Moto was like 1.2 second behind. So like from 0.1 second he has lost 1.2 second, and the gap was formed there. They just have to be patient, and I think the key is to wait for the driver to make mistake, and that is your chance to go and improve on the time.
Definitely, that is that. And can we please just look at the tire filter? Like, can we have it prominently on our screen?
Yeah, and looks like Ashray has made a stop for Inters. Yep, it is.
Can we get the accelerator stuff as well? And we can see now RB Ferraro, apologies, that is General Pepe who's making a move on RB Ferraro over here. Very good move from General Pepe. That was a long time coming. General Pepe definitely got quite frustrated over there, and he definitely made the move. And here comes RB Ferraro down the inside of General Pepe. Now they're going side by side. going through the long right-hander, and someone has to give up, and by the looks of it, has to be RB Ferraro because he's on the wet patch of the race track. Leslie has set the fastest lap, but RB Ferraro said no, he does not, and it is defending. Apologies, he's trying to attack off from General Pepe very, very aggressively, and of course General Pepe defending off from RB Ferraro very, very aggressively as well. And yeah, General Pepe would be slightly frustrated because he's 6 seconds behind Logesh, and RB Ferraro does look down the inside of General Pepe, but he's too far back to make a move over there. So yeah, so far it has been an interesting race, and we can see Helium is now starting to close in on Aradhya Gupta. By the looks of it, Aradhya Gupta is making some mistakes over here. We could see a very hot and spicy battle that could turn out over here, everybody.
Yes, definitely. A lot of time has been lost by Aradhya. I think it's about 1 second that he has lost, and that was a beautiful move or an attempt from RB Ferrello on General Pepe. But yeah, Pepe did well to defend that, push him wide off the track.
Definitely, and we can see Helium is closed out a lot on Aradhya Gupta in the last just one and a half laps over here, and I believe Aradhya Gupta is making a lot of mistakes because at the exit of turn 11 we could see him being very, very squabbly, which just helped Helium close in to him by the end of the straight, and Helium is just within his 5/10 half a second range over here. Although he did get squabbly himself on the exit over there, he's not lost as much time as Aradhya Gupta unfortunately did over there. So Aradhya Gupta has to stay completely focused on his racetrack, not look at Helium while he's of course behind him. Just stay focused completely on himself and make sure that he can keep his car straight. He can keep his lead as well, of course, because if he gets Helium very, very close to him, then I'm pretty sure Helium will do anything to bounce at Aradhya Gupta, and he does lock up into turn 1, making him lose a lot of time. Helium is slightly getting frustrated himself as well, and again realizing just creeping out behind these guys. So if anything goes wrong for either one of them, they realize they could bounce up another position and solidify his podium position even more.
Yes, as we can see that Black Sheep has made up 1.5 seconds. He has reduced the gap from 6 seconds to 4.4 now to Moto. Looks like either Moto is... Oh, we can see yellow flag in sector 1. That is Lokesh, I think, who has gone off track, and...
I did see ABD, 2 cars over there, both at the same
It's General Pepe who has lost time, so yes, it is General Pepe who spun, but we are not sure if there was a contact between 2 cars. Lokesh looks like... Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so as I was saying, there were 2 cars there at sector 1 there in that yellow flag period that was there. So I believe there could have been some contact. There might not have been any contact. Looked like an Alpha Tauri and Logesh in the Mercedes. So perhaps someone could have damage, someone perhaps could not have damage, and we'll have to see how that turns out.
Oh, actually it was Moto who is right now on P5. So that was him who spun.
Very, very interesting then. Moto was looking quite strong in the qualifying at least, and by the looks of it, he is slightly struggling in the race in these Indus conditions, and yeah, he's quite low on his ERS as well. And because General Pepe is stuck behind Logesh, actually he's quite far behind Logesh. There cannot be any T-mod as such either, so Moto has to close in onto Black Sheep. He has to cover that 6-second distance as well that Black Sheep has on ST, and make sure he can catch ST and fight for the podiums. And while we can see Alphabot is slightly struggling now, it's gone off fairly wide over there on the exit of the last corner. He's slightly struggling, and Ashray is still 32 seconds behind. He is slightly closing in though because he has much fresher tires than the rest. But it won't be enough. He will have to hope for a safety car or a safety car, which is quite rare with that fast bike because they are very clean drivers as well. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Aradhya Gupta is now within striking range of Helium. Of course, Helium cannot send it over here. He does have a look though, and he gets very close on the braking over there. And I think he was trying to perhaps make a very opportunistic move, but that did not work out for him. if anything, that just helped out Aradhya Gupta, and Aradhya Gupta is quite lucky that he did not get tapped there because he could have well been spun over there, and of course Helium would have also gotten damage because of it. And now we can see because of that, the real SD has closed in a lot, and the Helium's front tires will be absolutely cooked, and this truck absolutely eats up your front tires as well. So if anything, the real SD definitely has a chance for P2 over here in this race, and if he can keep his pace and his consistency, he could even fight for the win over here, ABD.
Yes, definitely he can. That was a very last second back out from Helium, and I think that was well set up by Aradhya, who just showed him the space and then picked out the apex really well.
A very fair move by him, although of course a very clever fox that Aradhya Gupta is, made a very clever move over there. And we can see AlphaBot has now made another mistake. Alpine again, 14th and 15th, they had a very good qualifying, and now they're just absolutely struggling in this race, ABD.
Yes, they are, and looks like he has spun again, and he did lose some grip at the same sector, the same turn in the last lap, probably because his ERS was on that time, but not sure what happened now. And anyways, he has gone for pits for pressure into.
Yep, I do think he has damage. He overshot.
Oh, he has gone for pits actually.
Is AlphaBot's race certainly over there? I mean, he was at this point relying on for a safety car, so was Ashray, but at this point, I think it's genuinely over, and they are still within the points because we do have points for the top 15 from our current season. That is how the rules are. So, top 15 are getting the points over here. So all AlphaBot has to just keep it clean for now, pit again, and ensure that he can go to inters and just finish the race, although I believe he will be lapped because of this. So, and that is Helium who makes a mistake. He has spun, going on that long right-hander, and we knew that was coming, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, it's about just keeping the pressure. And as we have seen doing that really well throughout the laps, he just maintained that gap, kept behind him. He did not try any move on him, and yeah, that just paid off really well. And I'm not sure about AlphaBot why he went for softs. Actually, probably the engineer might have suggested that the rain would stop in few minutes. So, and on top of that, he might have had a wing damage. So just to correct everything, he just went for soft. That has to be the only logical explanation for that.
While Eitzel and Streeter are now going side by side, Eitzel is ahead. Although it is a practice down into turn 1, looks like Eitzel has a lot more straight line speed. But here comes Streeter down the inside of 8 cylinders down into turn 1. They're still going side by side. Streeter's made up a lot of distance over here. And by the looks of it, Eitzel is still ahead. And Streeter has backed out. And as you were saying, ABD, coming back to your point, that could definitely be, a soft patch coming in, a very dry patch coming in. By the looks of it, the rain is getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So that is the case, then AlphaBot is an absolute prime over here. All he has to do is just make sure he does not spin. And he's getting quite squabby, so he absolutely has to make sure he does not spin. And he keeps it clean on a track, and it would absolutely work out for him because those inters overheat very, very quickly. And because of that, the inter drivers could lose a lot of time. Whereas AlphaBot could have a massive time gain, although I think he has pit by this point. He has not pit, so he's staying up, so I think he knows what's happening. Maybe perhaps there is a dry patch coming in this race, and we can see Akash Tsunami has disconnected yet again. It has not gone well for Akash Tsunami at all. And yeah, so that has not gone well for Akash Tsunami. Ace is now past the coast of Akash Tsunami. SD has put in the fastest time. Helium is now pit. Not sure for what, we have to see what he changes off to. That could be softs. Is Infraction second 1 and 2? And that's AlphaBot who has now retired. Would that be a safety car? It is a safety car. It was very quick and impulse thing that happened over there. Now everyone will be looking to get into the pace because there is definitely a dry patch coming in this race. And AlphaBot was going to benefit of it if he did not crash. Unfortunately, he did. Helium has gone into the mediums. 500 pit for the mediums. I think everyone will be pitting for the mediums. There is no more pro player crossing the safety car, although the game allowed it, so he's not going to get disqualified for it. So he is in the clean. Although This could change up a lot of things over here in this race, APD.
Yes, definitely. But the main thing to point here is Eitzel has gone for fresh inters. So I don't think we do not have the real info on the weather, and I'm not sure what Eitzel has gone for. Really.
Yep. I don't know why Eitzel's gone on to inters yet again. I'm as confused as you, ABD. Although, one thing we do know for sure is that there is some sort of a glitch going on. Not sure why Aradhya Gupta just stopped on track like that. Black Sheep
Yeah.
gets 5
Oh,
seconds from severe collision with Moto. Not sure what is going on. I don't know why this game's bugging out this much. Perhaps they didn't even have contact. Perhaps they had a very, very slight touch over there. And Eitzel now gets 3-second time penalties. And the second it starts to drive, it's all going to chaos. And Moto has lost his wing.
Yeah, it was Moto who rear-ended Black Sheep, and it's probably because of the 5-second delta glitch that just randomly pops up during the safety car, and that is just awful for him. But since he has not pitted yet, we are not sure. It might just be fine for him. Not good, but fine in the end.
I mean, I guess Black Sheep right there was trying to make a move on Moto into the pits, but that did not work out for him because, again, Moto can barely turn with his broken wing. And let me tell you what, ABD, can we quickly have a look at the penalties, please?
In the game, yeah.
Yep. So Black Sheep has that 5 seconds that he will be serving. Moto has 3 seconds. Essentially, every driver that has 3 seconds right now, because of the safety car bunching all of them up, and with these changing conditions, although the track is still fairly wet right now, it is going to be very, very challenging for the drivers, as the Ferrari boys have double stack, and it has worked out very well for them.
Yeah, they were really close to each other. Actually, it was when the safety car was announced, no more Propi had just crossed the pit lane, and he would have been really frustrated about it. Had he been in the pit, it would have been better, comparatively better for the Ferrari boys. But yeah, that's it.
Let me tell you what, ABD, you were absolutely spot on there. But Lokesh has spun and made a mistake. So has no more pro player, and because of that, they've lost out on a lot of positions.
Yes.
It was all on the pit exit. They're all on the dry weather tires in a fairly wet track. So the tires are not going to heat up. But it kind of makes sense, although it is the same challenge for everyone. So they seem to be struggling slightly. And can you go back to the tires, please, Electric?
Yeah, we can still see some wet patches on the track, and this is probably the transition period or the drying period that is soon after the safety car ends. It will be comparatively good for the mediums to go, but right now you cannot go full throttle soon after you get out from the pit lane, and that is just a rookie mistake. And looks like Akash is the only one who has not pit for either of the fresh inters or even mediums.
And by the looks of it, something happened to Aradhya Gupta, and he's now fallen back into P2. That just putting SD into a very good shot at the win, unless it is a glitch. No. So he did make a mistake. He is now behind SD. And this gives SD a very, very good opportunity to make sure that he could get the win here. Although, as you said, ABD, the track is still very, very wet over here. Definitely still in test conditions. I mean, look at the water that's getting sprayed up by these tires.
Yes.
So right now, Inter drivers could be on a very good benefit here. It is if the track doesn't clear up very, very quickly, and of course the track will only clear very, very quickly if the drivers have their full pace running. And by the looks of it, Lokesh has gotten damaged. Now he'll be pitting again, so this race has gone from bad to worse for Lokesh as well.
He's not gonna get another medium now. So what he's going for? He's going for the inters again. Two different strategies here. Two people have gone for fresh inters, that is Eitzel and Moto. So it is going to be either really helpful or just way down the tank.
Yup, and Moto could be an absolute beneficiary place over here right now. I mean, he could definitely pounce on SD and Aradhya Gupta, although he does have a 3-second time penalty, which is not going to help him out at the end. So he will have to make sure he can pull away that much, although I think currently he can pull away that much, but think the second it transitions off properly into the drives who have stuck out on the inters are kind of screwed over here, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and now we can see people who got damaged, they are going for soft now. That is, Propi and Ashray have gone to pit for soft, and if it's just a dry race, it's not gonna last for 12 laps as far as I know, and it's really going to be difficult for the soft runners also, considering that the safety car would go on for one more lap after this. And not sure what Akash Sonavene is up to. He is not going to pit. He's probably still on AI. Can we go on board him if to check if he is in game or not? Yeah, looks like he is the AI. So not sure what the AI has the strategy for him.
Yep, so I don't think Akash Sonavne is joining back. I'm not sure what's happened to him because he should be able to join back unless the game is literally restricting him from joining back. And I believe the next lap will be the last safety car lap. You can see Ashray, who then boxed again onto softs. He's a fair distance behind, so he hopes that he can catch up. And we can see that Aradhya Gupta has gone off verified. And that just lets Moto buy, although Moto gives the position back because the game did not allow the pass. I'm not sure. And he's gone to the back of the real ST. What is going on over there with Aradhya Gupta? He gets a 5-second time penalty. Hopefully no damage for the real ST because the wing damage is something that can properly happen over here. And yeah, that has not gone. Not sure what's happened to Aradhya Gupta. I mean, that has definitely ruined his race completely over here.
Yes, definitely. He probably was not focused on the race and the safety car, or he thought that the race has resumed. Electric, could you reduce my volume by like 20%?
Yep, so that was very, very interesting. Well, I'm kind of out of words for what happened just there because that is something that we usually don't see from these drivers. But again, we have seen sometimes that Aradhya Gupta does make a couple of mistakes that does end up ruining his own race. And right now we just have to hope that the real SG does not have any rear wing damage. Aradhya Gupta will have to pit now, definitely, and it is of course not ideal because realistically you want to pit under the safety car itself. But the safety car will be going on in this lap, and there's another wing flying off over there. That's Moto who's not collided with Aradhya Gupta, and he's got a 5-second time penalty. Although his wing flew off, I believe it was, and now Faizan's retired under the safety car. And what is going on in this safety car right now?
Looks like he has rear-ended someone there, Faizan.
This is
A lot of chaos before the safety car resume itself.
Yep, and Ashray will be absolutely disappointed because he's not caught up yet, and the safety car is just going into the pits. Everyone's just going to leave him behind, and this is turned into absolute chaos. Aradhya Gupta has now overtaken the real SD. And I have absolutely no idea what's going on. Can we go back to the real SD, please, for the restart? Thank you. And that is an absolute chaotic bunch that's happened over here. Because Aradhya Gupta does not have the front wing over there. And can we stay on board with the real SD, please? The motor does not have an end plate. That's going to cause him a decent amount of downforce over there. Essentially, SD has been put in a very, very good and prime position over here to win. And this is absolutely turned into chaos behind the safety car. And the real SD is just slowing the pack down. Aradhya Gupta just overtakes him.
He is going to go to pit, so Moto decides to pit as well. That was just beautiful to see Inters. How I really wanted to see how Inters would have worked here, but we do not have any comparison right now.
And here comes Helium on the real SD, goes down the inside. He's still side by side with the real SD. Real SD is the wet patch of this track with those bright eyes. Not worked out well for him. And here's the ghosted car of Akash Sonavne that's absolutely flying through the field right now. That AI, by the looks of it, has a lot more space than a driver's car. You can see Black Sheep has spun. It's up into P6 yet again. Logesh is now going side by side with Black Sheep. There's a big bunch over there just for that position that Black Sheep has right now. Here comes Logesh though on those intermediate tires, and he is now trying to fight these guys. Moto's all the way in last position. Ace looks down the inside, does a dummy, sticks to the outside. He's going to try for a switchback. Absolutely works out well for him. He's already past General Pepe. They're going 3 wide there. For a brief moment they were at least. Now they're side by side. Can you stay focused on this, guys? Please, thank you. Aidsel is past RB Ferraro. Aidsel had an absolutely amazing restart. Here comes General Pepe and RB Ferraro. RB Ferraro is going to the outside of Aidsel. At least he tried to. Logesh is past Black Sheep over there right now. And this is currently favoring the intermediate drivers right now, even.
Yeah, that's a good point that you have shared, because even Akash is holding the P2. But I do think that it's not going to last for a while, probably 2 laps, 3 laps at most. So that is not going to be good for Aidsel and Logesh, who will have to pit again. And even Moto has gone for medium set of tires.
And the track is very, very dry now, so the wet drivers will have to pit. After Sonalis finally pits over there, and Logesh has pit as well. 8 cylinders. 8 cylinders has stayed out. I'm not sure why. He's right at the back of the real SD though. He is trying to make a move on the real SD. Doesn't work out for him, although 8 cylinders is going to struggle a lot now because the track is pretty much dry. And 8 cylinders is the only person who is out on the intermediate tires, and we can just see how much time he's losing. His tires are going to absolutely start cooking right now. They're going to be like a pan or like an oven that's turned on and left on for multiple hours. That's what's happening. Helium gets a 3-second time penalty that puts the real SD in a proper shot at winning basically. And as long as the real SD can swim in 3 seconds, he can definitely win this race. We can see Ashray is making a very, very good comeback over here. He is trying to make a move down the inside of the no more pro player, or Dipansh as we also call him. He's pushed Dipansh off, and here he comes. No pro player gets a much better exit comparatively to Ashray, because he did get stuck on the apex over there. And we can see Aidsel and the real SD having a scrap. Can we go look at them? Yeah, so they were having a scrap down in turn 12. We can see Aidsel is actually going the fastest if the game is correct for the first time ever that it will ever be. Aidsel is currently going fastest in the middle sector. Although look at that, man, the track is very, very dry. Aidsel has to be struggling right now.
Yes, it has. It's probably just that because he was right behind them on the straight that he got the sector 2 really fast. But I really doubt if the softs go on for 12 laps. It's just too close to say that the softs will last for 12 laps.
And by the looks of it, the real apologies, Aidsel still hasn't pit. The real SD gets the provisional fastest lap of the race, and Aidsel is still trying his luck to finish on those inter ties. I mean, the track is very, very dry at the moment. It's more dry basically. It just scored. Logesh gets 3 seconds. Arade Gupta gets 3 seconds. General Pepe has made a move on RB Ferraro, but General Pepe does have 3-second time penalty. Moto gets another 3-second time penalty over here. Moto currently has 6 seconds. Ashray now again trying to bounce back on no more pro player. Arade Gupta goes 2 seconds faster than the real SD, and this is turning out very, very well for the last 8 laps.
Yes, it did for SD. After that, not good restart in under the safety car. He did lose 2 positions. He was put down to P3. But something for it, he can definitely not finish on those inters. It's not going to work out well for him. That is for sure, because the track is now dry.
Track is absolutely bone dry, definitely. And here comes RB Ferraro on General Pepe. He's trying to send it around the outside. He's sticking the General Pepe completely blocks RB Ferraro properly over there. We can see Aidsel is definitely struggling. And really hope Aidsel can fit at this point. And we can see Akash Sonamne's Ghosted AI is making a move on Logesh over here. That is very, very interesting. And of course, Logesh is driving his own car, so he will, of course, he should be faster than this AI. Although I think he was just waiting for his tires to warm up. And yep, DRS is enabled. So this track is officially, basically, absolutely bone dry. And we can see Aidsel, please pit Aidsel. You can say the real SD sets the fastest lap of the race as well, and by the looks of it, Aidsel is still continuing on over here. RB Ferraro now has DRS on General Pepe. He is having a look down the inside, does not go down the inside, and if anything, this is just helping out the real SD a lot more to make sure he wins. And I'm telling you that 8 cylinders tires are absolutely boiling at this point. Logesh has the fastest lap, 13 again. Just 2 seconds faster yet again. And we can see Arade Gupta has made a move on his teammate Akash Sonamne. We can see no more pro player is trying to close in onto Streeter, who is on the medium tires right now. All of them again fit under the safety car for that. And Yeah, the real SD is closing in a lot. Just half a second to Helium right now. Ashray again very close to Nova Pro player and Streeter. Nova Pro player side by side with Streeter right now. Will he get squeezed? I think he will. No, he does not get squeezed. Gets a very good exit.
Can we go
Streeter,
on board SD now? He's about to make a move with the DRS enabled actually.
He gets very close. Can we go back to that fight? He essentially cannot make a move right now. And we can see Ashray is past all three of them. 3 wide there. And Ashray gets past. Streeter also there. Still 3 wide. Right now, no more pro player squeezes out Streeter. Ashray squeezing no more pro player out. And Streeter falls behind. Very argy-bargy battle over here. Here comes no more pro player yet again down the inside of Ashray. Both are fighting it out. Ashray is pushed up onto the yellow sausage cup. Here comes back Streeter. Streeter's walking side by side with Ashray. And this is a very interesting fight over here.
It really is actually. And 8sil has finally decided to pit.
So finally decides to pit, although this fight's not over because now they have DRS yet again. No one pro player does not have DRS. Streeter does, Ashray does. Ashray's working side by side with no more pro player down into turn 1. Ashray by the looks of is slightly ahead. Yup. Pro player goes for a switchback though. Absolutely works out well for him. Can Streeter get that switchback done as well? Nope, Streeter just slightly behind Ashray over here. And Ashray is going to get slightly frustrated because he does not want this fight to turn out worse for him because his tires are definitely going to die at this point. The softs generally do not last for long, although considering the tire was fairly high here, he is essentially going to burn his tires out more. And thanks to Rajas Sim Racing for that donation, super chat I guess it is. Yeah, thank you so much for that, buddy. We will continue to put on a show for it. We can see Ashray's got a fight. Barely misses out Streeter and he's now retired. And will there be a safety car? He's off track. There is a safety car.
Yes, it is. But we are not sure whether it is a VS. Oh, it is. The safety car is out on the track, and now it might just well be good for 8sil because he's out on soft, and he can definitely catch up on those medium set of tires.
And that was very interesting. It was a very interesting battle between Nova Pro player Ashray and Streeter over there. Of course, unfortunately, Ashray barely, kept it on track over there. Just made a slight mistake, retired, and barely missed Streeter as well. And we can see Helium and Gender are now pitting. Realize he stays out. Will they be pitting for softs right now? Yeah, they are pitting for softs.
No, that's not a good move. That doesn't look like a good move really, because the safety car probably will be out for 2 laps and we will have 4 laps of racing to go, and Helium already has 3 seconds of time penalty, so he should have done the math actually, but let's see how it really works out for them.
Absolutely agree there, APD. He's going to have a lot of tire advantage over there. But you have to remember, the softs barely last about 2 or 3 laps over here. So, essentially what's going to happen over here is that, just say they spend, as you said, about 2 or 3 laps under the safety car, right? We're going to have a couple of laps to race. Their tires are going to be equivalent of at least 1, 2 or 2 proper push laps, where because of that, and that just means they're going to have very little tire life left in them, so they'll have to extract as much as they possibly can. And of course, there is still Black Sheep and RB Ferraro who have stayed out ahead of those guys, and essentially are kind of in a very bad position, because even if Helium gets past, he's going to have competition from General Pepe, 8 cylinders who's behind him. Not to forget No More Pro player who's also very quick as well. Rather Gupta, Moto who could absolutely pounce back in the last couple of laps over here. So Helium's going to be under pressure from General Pepe, 8 cylinder, and all of the drivers behind him. While he also has to make a move on the 2 medium runners up ahead of him. RB Ferraro, Black Sheep, hunt down the Real SD, and of course Real SD, I don't think he has any warnings as well. So he's kept it a very fairly clean race over here. So he will have to make sure he gets a very good start, a very good restart over here for himself. And as long as he stays within those 3 seconds of Helium, can we actually look at the penalties really quickly, please? Helium has 6 seconds, so that's even less of a fight for the Real SD. as long as the real SD, RB Ferraro and Black Sheep can stay within the 6 seconds for Helium, 3 seconds of General Pepe, 3 seconds of Eitzel, they're absolutely in a prime position for that podium position. And of course, the real SD will be under pressure from RB Ferraro as well as Black Sheep to make sure that they can get ahead and take that P1 so that the other drivers are left to fight out Helium, General Pepe and 8 cylinders and essentially everyone behind them. The safety car will be going in this lap, and yeah, this just puts a lot of pressure on the real SD here, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. The top three probably are thinking that they are the only ones left out who have not pitted, but it will definitely be an advantage for them because the next three people have like 3-second penalty. Now it all comes down to the safety car restart, whether or not Helium is able to pull away from General Pepe and Eitzel, given that all three of them are great drivers there. Helium has to pick up. Helium's main aim would be to catch up, but if General Pepe catches him and if they are fighting on the track, then both of them will be slowing down, and that will just not work out well for them.
Absolutely agree with your point there, ABD, and I'd also like to point out that the Real SD and the Black Sheep are teammates over here. So the Real SD will perhaps be telling Black Sheep that, yo, I'm going to restart over here. Be ready, let's jump RB Ferraro, let's get that 1-2. I'm looking at the YouTube chat right now. All of our commentators, all of our viewers are right now saying that Williams are going to get a 1-2 over here. A very easy 1-2 that they are saying. So that will be very interesting to see how that rolls out for them, because that will be huge points for them in the constructors as well as for themselves in the WDC as well.
Yes, definitely.
Right then, safety car will definitely be going in this lap, and there's a Haas Streeter that's just holding like 3 drivers behind him a lot. But yeah, safety car is going in this lap. Let's go on board with the real SD, please. See, when he jumps the other drivers, perhaps can he get that very good restart? That is always the question. Let's stick on board with the real SD. Let's not move anywhere since we have to see when he goes. Of course, all of the drivers are weaving, the real SD weaving as well to get temperatures into his medium tires. He'll be telling Black Sheep to get closer. He essentially wants Black Sheep as close to RB Ferraro as possible so that Black Sheep can get that jump on RB Ferraro. Of course, they will be terminating when he goes. And by the looks of it, he is still slowing down. So he's going to do a very, very late safety car restart. Of course, the throttle does cut out if the safety car is out. And by the looks of it, he is still staying out and not doing it. He goes though, he has the time, and by the looks of it, he has gone, yes. All this sort of worked out well for him. RB Ferraro is very close. If anything, Black Sheep's further away. Helium gets a very good restart over here. Helium's down up into P3 now, and RB Ferraro goes inside the realism has the inside. Here comes Helium though. He is now fighting with RB Ferraro to get that position through the S's. He has a lot more grip with the soft tires, and he is fast. RB Ferraro right now, and he is challenging the real SD already with about 4 laps to go, and this has turned out absolutely well for Helium, although I doubt the real SD will be giving up on that position. He'll be defending like a lion against Helium to ensure that he doesn't let it by, or even if he lets him by, he will have to ensure that he stays within his 6 seconds, because we know those soft tires are very, very quick, so it will be a much harder challenge for Real SD to do so. He has a slipstream, he's using up his ERS. To realize he doesn't have anyone, he's gone onto the marbles over here to make sure that he has enough space. He's now trying to squeeze off Helium. Helium though has a lot more pace, and he gets by. With the realize, send it down the inside. He's looking at it. He tries to go for it, but then again Helium just calls it off properly, so he does not go for it. There's a lot of action happening in the back as well. Now we can see that the order is pretty much stayed the same. Although RB Ferraro is the biggest loser out of all of this, he has fallen back a lot. He's down into P3 currently, and we can see Ashray and General Pepe, 8 cylinders as well, putting pressure on RB Ferraro. The real SD have absolutely gone away. Here comes General Pepe on Black Sheep as well as RB Ferraro. He's very, very close. Of course, General Pepe does have those 3 seconds. Black Sheep is now trying to has a bit of contact over there. Black Sheep is again on those mediums as well as RB Ferraro. So General Pepe is trying to put a lot of pressure on them. Here comes General Pepe. He's looking down the inside. Black Sheep squeezing them out. Oh, here comes General Pepe. They're going 3 wide through turn 1. Very, very good racing action going on. This is 3 wide. And that's 8 cylinders making it 4 wide. That is absolutely it's pushed off wide. They're still going 4 wide. Until the complete already. There's contact between the team.
Oh no, that was definitely bound to happen.
spun, and essentially his race is basically done over here. And 8 cylinders is down into P5 with those 3 seconds. He's now putting pressure on Black Sheep. He looks down the inside, does things better if it does not go for it. And yeah, that was very, very bad contact between teammates there. Very, very unfortunate.
That was definitely unsafe rejoin from Adi Ferrello, who himself has lost position and even took out Pro Pete. But yeah, like I said, Helium just flew past by, and now General Pepe and Acil are also catching up. As you can see that the softs are really working out well for them, but the real SG's task is just to keep within 6 seconds and he should be fine, and he still has like 5 seconds delta, and it's just 2 laps to go, and it really looks like SG can pull this off here comfortably.
He definitely can, although let's focus on this battle going right now. Black Sheep absolutely defending off like a lion from Aircel, from Yogesh, from Aradik Gupta. Even Moto's in this fight right now. Aircel goes up wide. Here comes Yogesh, he's past 8 cylinders. Aircel has a very bad exit. Will Aradik get the jump on him? 8 cylinders down on his ERS under 10%. And then maybe a 3 wide again. And here comes Aradik Gupta. Aircel gets blocked behind Yogesh's rear. And he's lost another position right there. Here comes Moto, the battle between the boards. Over here, Moto, 8 cylinders. Who will be ahead? And someone's made a mistake, and that is Helium.
It's Helium.
He has spun out, and that essentially secures the real SB the win, as long as he can keep it clean. Black Sheep definitely still in the fight over here. The 4P2, they're still trying their absolute level best to make it a 1-2, or at least make sure both Williams end up on the podium. Here comes Logesh on Black Sheep. Black Sheep has lost the position to Logesh over here because he is a much older medium. He has a bit of contact over that, bit of tire banging, but nothing much. And here comes Logesh. He's trying to defend off from the both drivers behind him. Black Sheep and Aradik Gupta ahead. Will Black Sheep send it on the side? No, he does not. Aradik Gupta does knock up though. Logesh has lost another position, and now that's Moto who's past 8, and he's making a move on Black Sheep. Black Sheep doing a lot of positions here because of those old mediums. And we can see this is absolutely turning out to be absolutely chaotic. That's 6 drivers fighting for that one position over there. Acer gets a bit loose on the exit right there, and we can see Aradik Gupta still holding off very, very well from the rest of the pack. Actually, it's Helium. Even Helium's involved in this battle. So this is a fight for P3. Black Sheep can still get that P3 if he can close in at least one more position. They're going side by side yet again. Look at that chain of cars over there. More trying to get a slipstream from Helium. Someone's going side by side up ahead. We're going side by side over here with Moto and Black Sheep. Helium and Aradik Gupta are going side by side. Aradik Gupta is off the track. Still comes back at him though. And Helium is ahead. Logesh comes back right now, and he is now ahead. There's 0 seconds after 1, and by this that Streeter who spun out of turn 1, and you see Black Sheep is still trying to bounce back on these sides with those very, very old medium guys who really have the delta. And you can see Helium made another mistake. He's retired. He's at contact with Moto, and it's all turning out to be chaos. Here comes Aircel now on Black Sheep, and now they're going side by side. Black Sheep is on the inside though, and that is Adi Ferrello having a bit of contact with Aircel right there, and we can see he's turned on the DRS, and Aircel is now trying to fight back from him. Aradik Gupta is past Logesh now. Now they're going side by side. Aircel is ahead of Black Sheep, and we can see Adi Ferrello is now trying to bounce back on Black Sheep, and he sends out down the inside of both of them. A very, very both of them out wide, and we can see this battle is still not over. We can see Aircel now again trying to come back at them. Will he make a move over here? Will Black Sheep go for it? No, too far behind. And I think that's that battle wrapped up. Let's quickly go on board the real SD. He's about to cross the line very, very shortly.
What a drama, what an action. That was totally intense, and it looks like it just went from bad to worse for Moto, who was alongside Aradhya during the safety car, and you can just see the difference between Aradhya Gupta and Moto. Like when Aradhya passed, Aircel had just blocked Moto, and that is where the difference started to begin, and Aradhya just kept on going, and it really went in his way for till the end.
Absolutely, a very, very chaotic race over there towards the end. The real SD wins for us over here at COTA. Unfortunately, Black Sheep could not end up on the podium, just missed out by I think 2 seconds or something around that. And yeah, that was a very, very good and interesting race. The real SD, you can see walking out on the podium, has won. Let's quickly move on to the final standings really quickly, please. That, yup, we can see the Real SD wins. It does not get the fast lap, unfortunately, but yeah, very, very good race from him. 53-minute long race because of the safety cars. General Pepe comes in P2, starting P11 from the grid. Aradhya Gupta still manages to stay onto the podium. P3, followed by RB Ferralo, Black Sheep, Williams 1-5. It was looking like a Williams 1-2, 1-3, but unfortunately did not turn out like that. Black Sheep in P5, Logesh in P6, Akash Tanamne P7, 8 Cylinders P8. Very nice coincidence over there. Moto P9, absolutely a horrendous race from Moto side, unfortunately. This did not turn out well for him. He did very good in qualifying, though. Here's Pro Player in P10. That's your top 10 done. Streeter is in P11. Helium, Ashray, and Faizan did not finish the race. Although Helium did get the fastest lap, so not sure if that's going to count or not. But yeah, very, very interesting. Yes, over here, and let's quickly get our drivers in for the podium interview.
Can we go to the race director and just clip the incidents? Incidents, mainly. Yeah, thank you.
Right, just waiting on the real SD.
Yeah, Electric, you can go to pit stop and we can. That's that for.
Let's go to the podium interviews really quickly, please. Electric. Let's get started with our P3 sitter Aradhya.
2 seconds. I'll just give me a second. I have to fix the podium interviews. My bad.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Right.
Yep, you guys are good now.
All right. So, getting started with our P3 sitter Aradhya Gupta. Are you with us?
Yes, I am here.
All right, Aradhya Gupta, you qualified on pole with that very, very last minute strategy from you in terms of qualifying. Very good move from you. Although you did have you again had a very, very good start in the race as well initially while it was still wet, and then behind that safety car, I'm not sure what happened to you. You just went into the back of, I believe it was Real SD. When just talk us through all of that.
Yeah, so basically from qualifying or like qualifying towards the end, like, I think it was also like a really good call from me for like to go for soft at the end, and but like, and also, yeah, as you said, like I got a very good getaway from off the line also, but towards the in the safety car, yeah, I just lost a bit of I guess you can say my awareness also. It was my fault. Like I lost a bit of awareness under the safety car, and like then you realize that SD was slowing down for the safety car, so that might be a bit on me as well. So yeah. So like then I had to pit again, and the second safety car definitely saved a lot for me. And then after that it was just like continuous of just trying to make the lost ground back again and again, and somehow ended up on podium. So yeah.
Yep, that was definitely very well for you, and you were involved in that absolute mix that was there, an absolute chaos that was there at the final safety car restart with Helium, who made a slight mistake, and then you just had to fight for that P2 position over there. Of course, you guys did have time penalties though, so. What were your thoughts then? I mean, Helium made that mistake. You were fairly close to him at that point, and you could have definitely, perhaps, if you didn't have the time penalty, secured a very easy P2 over there. So just talk us through that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, like, time penalties, like, you can't really avoid them at a particular point, but like, yeah, like after the Helium mistake, also like I knew like that these guys are fighting so hard in front of me that they will make a mistake, and could have been an easy P2. So like I was just all the time being cautious, especially after the safety car. But so like yeah, and just picking up moves at the right time, and yeah, just making. But yeah, if definitely penalty wasn't there, then yeah, it could have been an P2. But P3 also not bad in the podium nonetheless.
Yep, definitely. Again, congrats on that podium. A very decent race from you. APD, do you have anything to add for Aradhya Gupta?
No, not really. Actually, he did well in the second safety car restart, so kudos to him.
Definitely. And yeah, again, congratulations, Aradhi Gupta, for that P3. A decent race from you. Moving on to our P2 driver, General Pepe. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you guys.
All right. So, General Pepe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you started P11, right? And well, that was, again, midfield battle that was happening at that final safety car restart, which is absolutely chaotic. So, why don't you just talk us through all of your race, basically?
To be honest, I was very upset about that it's raining every week. So I have like zero pace in rain. So I knew I was not expecting much. And in quali, the last lap I messed up the timing, so I couldn't put in the last lap. So that's bad on my part. And in the race, at the start, I gained some position. I think 2 position or 3 position I gained into turn one. After that, I was following RB, and to be honest, the last safety car that helped me a lot because of the 3 seconds I had, and I had to put a gap behind me just to secure that P2. So yeah, although I had zero race pace, but somehow I got a P2. I'm kind of happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have all the rights to be happy about it. You had a very good start of the race, and at the end of the day, you did end up on the podium as well. And I just have one more question for you. So during that, of course, that very chaotic final safety car restart, we could see that Helium was absolutely on the pace, and he was just charging past essentially everyone. I think just through that one corner he made up multiple positions, and by the end of sector one he was already ahead of the real SD, and you could see that there's like a lot of cars behind you that are punching up. So perhaps do you think that okay, maybe I might lose all of these positions as well, because Helium and SD absolutely flew away from you at that point?
Yeah, I kind of thought because but most of them behind me had penalties instead of Black Sheep. So Black Sheep was clean. So I was thinking about bridging a gap to him. I was not worried about SD and Helium because Helium had 6 seconds, so he had to pull a 3 seconds. I think he could pull a 3 second, but I think he spun, so it doesn't even matter. But I was not even worried about SD because I was not even gonna get him. So I had to bridge the gap to Black Sheep. But after that, I saw a little chaos behind, and Black Sheep just dropped like 6 seconds. And behind me, they were all had like 3 6 seconds at penalties and stuff. So I was pretty confident that I'm gonna hold this position.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you were looking very solid on the pace towards the end over there. Once the chaos somewhat settled essentially at the last lap, it became quite obvious that you were essentially going to end up on the podium. So, again, congrats for that. And AB, do you have anything to add for General Pepe?
No, not really. I do have questions for SD though. But yeah, kudos on that victory. Podium position, General Pepe. You did really well. You had your head into the race throughout the race. That was really well from your part.
Thank you, thank you.
Right, yep, congratulations, General Pepe, for that P2 position. And moving on to a race winner here at COTA, the Real SD. Um, that was again a very entertaining race. I mean, you missed out on majority of the entertainment because you were busy dominating the field, I guess you could say that. But yeah, very good race from you, SD. Talk us through all of that.
Yep, thank you for that. I did not miss, to be honest, because the first, let's say, till the first safety car, I was quite engaged in keeping in tabs with Radhya and Helium in front of me. So, I mean, Moto as well, he was behind me. He was kind of sending one or two moves all over. But other than that, I think it's quite a good race from my side actually. I did not expect to keep within the 2 second gap that I planned to keep in front. And yeah, it all panned out in the end. Did make a lot of mistakes. The safety car, I think, was too early for the medium tires. So yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a safety car, I think if you would have gone to the medium tires, that would have been the end of the race for me, which I did question when with Black Sheep, who was in VC with me. Yeah, at the end it all panned out. I'm not sure what happened behind the safety car. I mean, I was doing my normal things. I could not go offline to brake to gain temperature because offline is completely wet. So there is no way that I was going to go off the racing line. So I just broke. I closed with the safety car. I broke, let's say, 50%, and then I started accelerating again. I don't know what happened to Radhya. It was not close to me. He was, let's say, a second behind. But then he just did not see me or had a lapse of concentration and just rear-ended me. Same thing happened a lap later with Moto as well, as Nadia rear-ended me again, and that actually hindered Moto's race, and both of them pitted. So yeah, and then after that, when the last safety car came out, I was really in two minds, should I pit or not? And yeah, I think ideally I should have pitted because I mean Helium was just, let's say, P4 when he came out of the pits. But I was sure that I'll be able to keep up the pace because I was looking quite decent race for me. So yeah, at the end of everything panned out. Helium did make a couple of mistakes which I was able to capitalize, and yeah, sad for Black Sheep. He should have been with me on the podium in P2, at least P3. But yeah, he got caught up in all that debacle that happened behind. But at the end of the day, good points for Williams, and I'm happy for the win.
Yeah, so tell us about your strategy that you had during the second safety car restart. There was definitely a sure shot coordination between you two, and I'm pretty sure 1-2 was in your mind for sure.
Yeah, so
And
I mean, I noticed that there were a lot of penalties. People had a lot, drivers had a lot of penalties around. So me and Black Sheep around, let's say, one morning the entire race. So we're just trying to keep it still, like even if the soft runners get ahead, I'm pretty sure one of us can act as an anchor so that we can at least delay their inevitable. But yeah, I mean, Helium with the 6 seconds, I was praying that Black Sheep would overtake RB at the restart, but that didn't happen. Instead, RB got the run on me, and which we went side by side, and Helium got through. But yeah, I mean, that did not work out well for us, one of us. But at the end of the day, I think these things happen. I mean, if I would have gone to the softs, I think he would have done the right thing and not fought with me. But yeah, these things happen, and I'm quite happy with my race. But yeah, Black Sheep would have been a better race for Black Sheep if he did not get caught with all that turn one shenanigans.
Definitely. Apologies. Yeah, again, I mean, at the second safety car restart, we saw that Helium was absolutely flying. Were you worried that he could perhaps even pull away that 6 second gap? I mean, there were very limited number of laps left. But looking at his pace, it definitely seemed possible. So before he made that mistake, did you think perhaps, he could actually pull away those 6 seconds?
I mean, at the safety car restart, when he got past, when he was P2, yeah, definitely. I think he got past me at the back straight itself. I tried to send it, I tried to poke my way through, but it didn't work out. And yeah, I was surprised. It was like 3.5 laps to go at that point. Even if he gained 2 laps, 2 seconds a lap, I mean, even if he gained 1 second a lap, it wasn't enough. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that with the pace that I had, I gave it everything. I was like pushing all the corners, and I did see him making a lot of mistakes as well, like at the corner exits. So I was quite comfortable. I think before he made the mistake, I kept him within, let's say, just outside DRS. So yeah, going to the last couple of laps, I was confident that I'll be able to keep within 6 seconds.
All right. Yep. I mean, that was a very good cruise. I wouldn't say really cruise, but a very good fight from you throughout the race. Initially, at the initial wet stages, you were just within that 2 to 3 second of the top two, and you kept it very clean throughout the race as well. So congrats for that win, SD. And ABD, if you have any final questions for SD.
no, I really don't, but I will definitely tell him that it was really calm and a perfect drive from SD. He just kept his concentration throughout the race, and yeah, that was just beautiful to watch.
Yep.
Definitely. And that is it from us this weekend. We saw a complete, weekend full of actions and lots of moves. Essentially, I could say that we do have, not to forget, Electric, can we move to the stream ending screen, please? Week of racing that is coming up next week. That is, so we're of course going to get started off with our Tier 21 boys at Monza. Have sprint races next week for our F1 boys, so do make sure to tune in for that. So of course, our Tier 21 boys get us started off with the weekend on Friday at 9 p.m. So do make sure to tune in for that. And of course, our ACC boys, of course, are going to continue on with their season at round 6 at Donington Park. So make sure to tune in for that as well at 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. And of course, we will be back with our F1 22 boys on Sunday. We'll be getting started off with Tier 2 at 2:30 p.m. at, of course, Monza. Apologies, at Monza with sprint race, of course. And, that'll be a very interesting race to see and as well as watch. And of course, it's going to be interesting for the drivers as well drive in. And of course, we'll be back with our Tier 1, the fastest drivers in India, on the F1 games on Sunday again at 8:30. Apologies, 8 p.m. on Sunday. And yeah, again, they'll also be at Monza. And of course, we cannot predict the weather conditions. So if it turns out to be wet yet again, or at least interchangeable conditions as how it was this week, it will be very interesting, that race as well. So that is it from my side. That is it from Electro. That is it from ABD. That is it from IRC. Have a safe night.